As I know, rebounding is mostly just kind of a physicality and a choice. But is there anything that's allowed you to be so productive as a rebounder here with the Thunder night in and night out?
Um, I mean, it's a mixture. I mean, definitely, first of all, you just have to want it more. I mean, that's the main thing. But then it's also just positioning, doing your work early, boxing out, and then also kind of knowing what shot someone's taking, and kind of figuring out guessing where it would go. I mean, not guessing, there's a certain percentage. If he shoots that shot, most of the time I'll go that way. I mean, I have sometimes where it's unlucky bounces, but you kind of just figure out where the ball most of the time will go and kind of stay in that position.
Seems like after an offensive, you guys almost treat that like a fast break after you get an offensive board. What's your mindset when you clear the glass on the offensive side and make a play?
I mean, if I don't got a shot myself, just find the open guy. I mean, again, it's for us, kind of like a mini fast break, if you say. I mean, most of the time, a lot of guys are going for the rebound, and so you'll have at least one guy open, or you put guys in a scramble, and I think you get really good shots out of that.
Isaiah, obviously, the other night, at least from this end, felt like the best you and Joe have looked like together in actions together. I don't know, is the goal to kind of recreate what you had with Dante? Like, what's like the measuring stick of like synergy?
I mean, not recreate. I mean, I think you take certain little things, what worked in the past. I mean, if it was with Luke Kennard, Dante, just kind of guys like that. But yeah, I think we're just continue to build on that. I mean, it's been pretty impressive now how he's been cutting and also finishing. I mean, I think he has a lot of tough finishes. But I think we're just going to keep building off that. And I think it's going to be really valuable, especially in that second unit.
And you kind of mentioned it there, but like obviously half of the action is what he decides to do, the window he has, and what he chooses to do with that. Like I don't know if you're seeing him work on that side of it, but like what have you seen as far as his decision making and what he's come up with there?
I mean, I think it's like more of like communication between us. I mean, I feel like, especially at the beginning, we were just figuring it out. And I think now we kind of have a. That's crazy. Now we kind of have an understanding of what he wants, what kind of I see in certain situations, and so I think that makes it really easy.
In your experiences, is January one of the toughest months to kind of plow through, work through, and try to stay sharp?
Yeah, it's depending on what kind of team you got. I mean, I think we have a good mix of guys who just take it day by day, and so I think when you take it day by day and not focus too much on All-Star coming up or on your next break or something, I think you still stay in it. But yeah, there's always a mental game to it. But I think us as a team, us as an organization is so day-to-day focused that it's not really hard for us.
Kind of along those lines, how nice has it been to have 2 days between this game, 2 days before that last Portland game?
It's been good. I mean, it's kind of like a mixture between like sometimes 2 days can be a little too much. So it's kind of like us figuring out how to balance that. I think Mark does a good job of just like today we had a good practice, just making sure you don't get too comfortable, don't get too loose. And so I think we do a good job of doing that.
Yeah, see, you haven't been around for all the Dubs 3 years to really kind of frame it in totality, but obviously you come in, he has these certain expectations as a third-year player. I guess, how have you seen him kind of handle and kind of frame the expectations that, he's come with, even though, he's in his third year?
He's been great. I mean, I think to me he's an all-star this year, and so I think just him coming in, doing on both ends of the court. I mean, I think he's a really underrated defender. I think to me he's one of the best defenders in the league. I mean, we just happen to have so many great defenders on our team that sometimes doesn't get as much exposed as it should. But I mean, defensively he's been great. Offensively, he's been doing a great job of just leading the team in those aspects. So I think for his third year, I mean, anytime you got third-year guy being an all-star, I think it's a good job. So. Yeah.
Over the last couple years, you all have increased your own offensive rebounding rate, it seems like, and had a big night the other night. What's been some of the growth points that you've seen over the course of time in that department?
Well, 2 years ago, the year we made the play-in, we were close to top 10 offensive rebounding, I think. and a lot of that was our small lineups. We rebound really well on the small lineups because it's a lot of K-Rich. He's really good. We shoot threes, and so there's longer rebounds that we can chase. And then Hartenstein, obviously, is a huge factor. Not only the balls that he gets, but you have to block him out, and account for him, which takes usually the 5-man out of the play and allows other guys to rebound. So he's had a huge impact on that area for us as well.
What impact have you seen him have on J-Dub and just J-Dub's offensive opportunities? They've seemed to play a lot together in that second unit.
Yeah, I think, what we've gotten developmentally for Dub and Shea and these like high volume creators is we've had pick and pop players like Horford, like Chet. When we play like J-Rob, Pokashevsky at the 5, those guys are pick and pop guys. They've also gotten switch attacks with the guard to guard stuff that we've done. What we really haven't had is like a dynamic screener roller. The closest thing is Chet, but he's not the screener Isaiah is because of the physical difference. And so they're really learning how to attack with a great screener and a guy that can put rim pressure on the rolls. And that's been really good for Dub. It allows his strength to get into the game. And he and Hart have developed a nice chemistry.
Similar note, you talked about this in the past, but obviously with Hart coming in, like there was no precedent for, a sort of like screener, shooter dynamic. I guess how would you assess the kind of synergy he's built with Joe to this point?
Yeah, I mean, he's had success with guys like that before. DiVincenzo is the most recent one. They had a great chemistry in New York watching them. So he knows how to operate with a gravity shooter that can really move. It was a little bit of an adjustment for Joe, but Jay Will's similar. Jay Will and Joe have had that connection in the past. But it took some time. All the Hart stuff has taken some time. The good news is he's such a high impact player that we've also had team success while we've developed and grown. So they've done a great job though. The chemistry between Joe and Hart and Dub is certainly potent.
You mentioned, Joe needing to adjust to it. Like that's half of it. Like, what have you seen as far as decision making? It feels like it started with him like looking for the shot clean off the screen, and now he's like coming up with counters.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just different. I think it's different from how we've used him in the past. I mean, his highest volume stuff in the past has been like pick and rolls with Shea. He's like screening for Shea, sliding out of those, changing angles. He's got all those tricks. We haven't used him as kind of the creator on the plays for a number of different reasons, but like the way that Miami uses those guys, Strus and Robinson and Ellington over the years, they run their offense through those guys' shooting gravity. We've done that a little more with Joe. It's opened some things up for him and us, and having Hart being able to screen and deliver the ball to him the way he's able to is helping too.
What are some of the main reasons why January can be so tough for a bottom team, a top team, just to kind of maneuver through all of it?
Christmas to All-Star break is kind of dog days. It's a combination of things, I think. I'm not sure, but the beginning of the season's over, so the shine is worn off, and you're not at the end of the season yet. The weather sucks everywhere, to be honest with you. It's like gray and cold, no matter where you go. I think that actually has an impact on people, whereas in the spring it's nicer. So yeah, you got to have mental toughness and you got to like endure this part of the schedule, and our guys have traditionally done a great job of that.
With that in mind, just how nice has it been this recent stretch? No, the
like
timing, the
55.
scheduling. Just having 2 days off in between this game, 2 days off before the Portland game during this stretch.
Great for rest and great for practice. I mean, we had probably as punchy of a practice today as we've had in a long time just because of the schedule. So we like to get in the recovery, guys that are a little banged up, they can get some gas back in the tank. And then obviously we get some work in as well.